Hello, my name is Marty Perrin, and I'm here this afternoon at Left Bank Books at the corner of Euclid and McPherson in the Central West End. I've been here many times over the years. This bookstore is a landmark, really, an anchor at this intersection, and has been for 45 years. I'm sure many of you have been here yourself. I'm here to speak with Chris Kleindings, the owner of the store. She's accepting an award that the Moore Foundation is giving to the Left Bank Book Foundation for their Literacy and Justice Project.
My name is Chris Kleindings. I own Left Bank Books. I've worked here for 48 of its 53 years. Came to work here back in 1974 as an employee. I became an owner around 1977-78. Left Bank Books was started by Washington University activists in 1969. It was the height of the Vietnam War and the Civil Rights Movement. They wanted a place where literature would be available that you couldn't find anywhere else. It certainly was not the age of the internet, so what was on bookstore shelves was really critical to getting ideas out. They didn't have a lot of money. They pooled their resources, which included donating from their personal libraries, and opened a little store in the Delmar Loop neighborhood. I came to work there about 5 years in. I knew the store. I shopped at the store. I needed a job. I applied. I was hired. I was the first employee. The store had been run collectively all this time. However, several people had finished their work at Washington University and moved out of town, and it left Larry Kogan running the store. He was a collective member, so he hired me. When Bob and Steve Zephyr bought the store from the original collective, we were still in the Delmar Loop neighborhood, and another bookstore had opened down the street, which was much more of a business and much better financed, and a wonderful bookstore, Paul's Books. Also, the Washington University bookstore kind of came into being at that point in the big student center. So suddenly Left Bank had a lot of competition and no money to speak of. We were really struggling there, and we decided we would move to the Central West End. We found this space that we're in still today. Time passes, we still were not capitalized in any kind of way, and things happened. There were some recessions. A big thing that happened was when Borders and Barnes & Noble, the giant, box stores, came into town and expanded all over the place here. That was very difficult. Several bookstores in St. Louis and all over the country closed, independently owned bookstores, because of them. So we got a little more organized. And over the years, we got more and more organized, and we actually made a nonprofit corporation out of it, the Left Bank Books Foundation. What we're able to do with that is do the work that we have always done that really is not sustainable as a for-profit bookstore. Author events that are free and open to the public, cultural events, and also our work with the schools. So we work with the St. Louis Public Schools. We have a program called the River City Readers Organization where we provide books for kids in St. Louis Public Schools for their personal libraries throughout the year, and we set up for the authors to come in and meet with them when we bring the books as often as we can. This is really critical because these kids do not have a basis usually in reading when they start school. They don't have often any books in their homes. This is to encourage literacy and the love of reading, because if they're not kind of solid in that before they get out of grade school, all of the studies show they're just never going to succeed. The Literacy and Justice Project is our newest project with the foundation. We started this earlier in 2022. Several schools across the country, and specifically in St. Louis, the Wentzville and the Rockwood school districts, that certain members of their parent organizations decided to purge their libraries of books they didn't want on the shelves for their students and children to read. This is alarming that whenever this happens, and it's happened a lot over the years. We, as a bookstore, are always aware of this and concerned. I came up with the idea of the Literacy and Justice Project as a way to basically keep these books in front of kids and adults and whoever wanted to read them, to show that attempting to remove access to them is wrong, to make them available to anybody who wanted them. What they need is access to good books and information. What they need is to be able to follow their curiosity. What they need is to see themselves and the issues they face in books. What they need is to learn how to think critically. So it's a literacy and justice issue. We've had, so far this year, about 250 people have requested books in our Literacy and Justice Project, and they've gotten them. About 3 of those were teachers in schools who asked for copies, but the rest were folks all over the community. What's been really wonderful about the Literacy and Justice Project is the support we've gotten. As soon as we announced it, the donations just kind of poured in. We intend to run this program as long as we need to. The lay of the land changes in terms of attempts to ban books or remove them from school curriculum, or even, ultimately I think the danger is going to be removing them from publication ultimately. These are stepping stones for a particular agenda. What's great about our project is that it's elastic, and I intend to respond to what is happening in our country, however, makes the most sense with this program. And what's great to me is that I know my community is going to support that.